Back talking SEC football here on Southeastern 14. I'm Chase Robinson. Thanks for joining us today as we're going to dive into what I think the three biggest games for the Missouri Tigers are coming up in the 2024 season. But first, let's remind you about Bet Online, your number one source for all of your summer sports this season, from golf to MLB to NHL to NBA playoff stats, news, scores available to you there. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet online, where the game starts. So the Missouri Tigers, I mean, you think back to a year ago and incredible success. Eli Drinkwitz building this program. He's got it rolling right now. I think the players are bought in. I think the fans are loving what they're seeing. And I think just there's a lot of excitement in Columbia, Missouri right now based on this football program. And going into the year, we saw the extension for Eli Drinkwitz. We knew that the Missouri athletic department believed in Drinkwitz, and we saw that last year. And they had some great talent. They have some pieces they're looking to fill, but they've got some guys back too that I think will help this Missouri Tigers team. And so I think a lot of eyes are going to be on them this season. There's no doubt about it. I think they have the roster to have another good season. But this year they're going to be the hunted instead of the hunter. You know, in years past, it's been Missouri having that hunter role of going after these big teams. But after what they did last year and the roster they have, the role is going to be reversed. They're going to be the hunted this year. So what are the three biggest games to me in 2024 for the Tigers? It just so happens that this is actually a three consecutive games, a 3-game stretch for the Missouri Tigers. And so we'll start with the October 19th matchup as Auburn comes to Columbia, Missouri. We have seen some interesting games between these two teams in recent years. Last time they played was back in 2022. It was in Auburn, and it was Auburn getting an overtime win 17-14 as a Missouri receiver dropped the football right before he crossed the goal line for the winning touchdown. He dropped it, and Auburn was able to get on it, and Auburn won the game 17-14. This year's going to be different. Missouri, much improved team since that 22 matchup with Auburn. There's still some questions around the Auburn Tigers heading into the year, but I think it's going to be two good teams. This is a tough stretch for Missouri. One good thing, they have this game at home. Columbia, Missouri, a tough place to play. I think if this was in Auburn, we may be talking about this game a little bit differently, but I think it's very good for Missouri to have this one at home. And it's going to give you some confidence if you can win this game against Auburn heading into the rest of the SEC schedule. So the way the schedule works out is they have a couple of conference games, they have a non-conference games, and then they start this kind of stretch starting with the Auburn Tigers. And so all this Auburn game is part of 6 straight SEC games for the Missouri Tigers. And so you win this one, it gives you a little motivation heading into the rest of the conference schedule. But I think this is a very important one for Missouri. You get Auburn at home. And again, I think Missouri has the roster to be a good football team this year. And so we'll see that on display against a pretty good Auburn team as well on October the 19th. Now, the following week, Missouri heads to Tuscaloosa on October the 26th to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide. So we have not seen this matchup since 2020. It was the season opener in that shortened COVID year. But again, this is game 2 of that really important 3-game stretch. Missouri has not beaten Alabama since 1975. Missouri won 20-7 when they played there at Legion Field in Birmingham in that matchup. So it's been a while. Again, I'm not saying that Missouri can beat Alabama because I think Alabama is going to be very strong and in contention for the SEC. But I think this could be a much closer one than maybe fans think it will. I like Missouri's roster again. And again, we have some questions on Alabama defensively, but I think behind Brady Cook, Missouri is going to have a very good offense. So I think this could be a game to watch for Missouri. But again, coming off of that game against Auburn, this is going to be a very important game. if Missouri can beat Auburn and get some confidence, get some momentum in the rest of the SEC schedule, I think this could change this game up a little bit. If they are, I like the schedule for Missouri, and so if they, are unbeaten or maybe just have one loss at this point, I think this could be a very, very interesting game in Tuscaloosa. But Missouri making the trip to Alabama this year, I think could make for an interesting game. And then the third biggest game, I think, for Missouri, they actually have an off week before this game, but it's Auburn, it's Alabama, and then it's Oklahoma, which I'm excited about this matchup here. They're going to be back at home for this one, which I think, again, is huge. Anytime Missouri can play in Columbia, I think that helps the Tigers out a lot. But you get the newcomers of the conference, Oklahoma, coming to town. I like this Oklahoma team. I think there's a lot of talent. I think they're going to be very good. They were kind of sneaky good last year, and I think they're going to continue that this year. The schedule obviously will get tougher coming into the SEC, but I really like this Missouri-Oklahoma matchup. I think this is going to be a battle, and I think this could turn into a little bit of a rivalry game between these two teams. Both have really good offensive pieces, and I'm expecting good offensive production for both of these teams. So I think it's going to be fun to watch. Again, this is one of those games. You have Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Arkansas, the 3 consecutive games following this game with Oklahoma, if you're Missouri. So if you're looking to finish as a contender in the SEC, which I know Missouri is and could be, you got to win this game against Oklahoma at home. And again, Oklahoma's going to be a very tough team. There's no doubt about it. This is a tough stretch when you have Auburn, Alabama, and Oklahoma 3 in a row. That's a tough stretch. So I think this Oklahoma at Missouri game helps being in Columbia, but I think it's going to be a huge matchup. I like the schedule for Missouri. I really do. I think some exciting things will continue to happen in Columbia, Missouri, based on the talent, based on the coaches, and based on this schedule. I think it could be a fun year for the Missouri Tigers. Once again, they are riding a high from last season where they kind of defied expectations and had a great year, including that Cotton Bowl win there. So exciting things happening there in Columbia, Missouri. But those are the 3 biggest games, I think, for Missouri this year. Auburn at Missouri, the Tigers heading to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama, and then Oklahoma coming to Missouri for a 3-game stretch there. That's pretty tough, 3-game stretch there for Missouri. We'll continue to share the 3 biggest games for every team in the SEC. So be sure to subscribe to our Southeastern 14 YouTube channel. Like this video, comment, share it with your friends, and also follow us on Twitter at 14 Southeastern. We got you covered daily content right here on Southeastern 14.